How are you doing, everybody? Mike Solarte here with you. It's time for your video blog activities for this 23rd day of July, and wishing you all the best as we get looking ahead to a busy week. First off, let's start things off with the events of today. Penn State hammered by the NCAA, $60 million fine, 4-year probation, 4-year bowl ban, reduction of scholarships. I mean, there is so much. It's an avalanche of sanctions that were piled onto the school on Monday, and I'm not sure that it's warranted for the NCAA to step in this situation. I'm not sure. I'm conflicted. I'm conflicted on this because the violations that were committed here were not NCAA violations. You know, this wasn't point shaving. This wasn't tutors or agents with improper benefits, that sort of thing. NCAA that where they actually legislate. These are laws that were broken. And as powerful as the NCAA thinks they are no match for the actual law. They're no match for the Pennsylvania police, the FBI, you name any law enforcement organization or law enforcement agency, they outrank the NCAA. But I also can understand where people would say, yeah, this is something the NCAA had to do because of the fact that the school did not do enough. They valued football more than the actual school itself, and that was what was being said at the press conference in Indianapolis on Monday. And so there are arguments for and against. To me, I'm not entirely for, and I'm not entirely against what took place. I think that I think it would have been ample. It would have. I wouldn't say ample. Let me rephrase that. What I thought would have been acceptable. The fine, the vacating of wins, because that is the only way you can really strike back at Joe Paterno, who, according to the Free Report, had knowledge of what was going on and did not report it to proper authorities. I don't necessarily know that you reduce the scholarships. I don't know why I feel like that. All these things happened before these players and this coaching staff were in Happy Valley. So I don't know that it's fair that you hit them the way that they're being hit, because it's more than reducing the scholarships. These players that are in school now at Penn State or the NCAA, they can freely transfer and not lose a year. They can transfer from Penn State to Southern Cal and not miss a day. Not miss a game. They can play this season. It'll be interesting to see how many of these players stay. It really will. It'll be interesting to see how many of them stick around. Coach O'Brien says he's not going anywhere. It's an ugly situation. There are no winners in this, and because the first thing that we have to remember in all of this is that it's not about football. It's not about the Penn State uniform, and it's not about Joe Paterno, and it's not about the fight song, and it's not about bowl games and national championships. First and foremost, we have to remember that this is about child abuse. It's about kids. It's about innocent kids who had no say in what was happening to them. And that is the thing that has to be remembered. That has to be first and foremost on everybody's minds. Well, I'm a sports guy. I talk sports all the time. From a sports standpoint, I don't necessarily fully agree with the NCAA's penalties. What I'm more in agreement with as a human being is that justice is served to those that broke laws, that harmed kids, that are in the wrong. That is what I'm interested in. That's what I want to see. I want to see that. Okay? I don't care about Penn State football. I'm not a fan. I've never gone to a game. I've never watched Penn State play. I don't have anything bad to say about them. I don't have anything bad to say about the players and the coaches and the fans that are there now. But I'm disgusted by what had happened there, or what has happened there over the years. And it's even more disgusting that not just that it happened, but that it happened over and over and over and over. And it was repeated. And it never was stopped by the people that should have stopped it. And that ultimately is what we have to remember. It's not about wins and losses, and it's not about the Nittany Lion that's outside the stadium, and it's not about Joe Paterno's statue, which is no longer there. This whole thing is about kids, and if you lose sight of that, you're losing sight of the big picture. That's just me. Over the weekend, we saw. Oh my goodness, did we see something at what do you call it? At Liffin. I can't remember the name of the golf course because I was so blown away by watching what took place between Adam Scott and the golf course. Ernie Els wins the British Open. Wins another major. It's the third decade the guy's won a major. Incredible. And I know that there are, you'll watch the ESPN shows later today, and I'll tell you what, Adam Scott might be the biggest Penn State fan in the world right now because everybody's going to be talking about Penn State and not how he lost the British Open. And he did lose it. And it's hard for me to say that Ernie Els won the British Open when he really survived the British Open. And I'm not knocking him. I mean, you've got to be talented to survive that golf course on that stage on that day. And Ernie Els is absolutely 100% a deserving champion. I'm not knocking him one way or the other. But Adam Scott played so beautifully for 68 holes that he lost the Open. And where when he makes the birdie at 14, and he has both hands on the trophy. And by the time he got to the 18th tee box, he didn't have a fingerprint on the trophy. It was all up for grabs. He bogeyed out. He bogeyed his final 4 holes, and he lost the Open. And you're going to hear the pundits. They're going to say, "Oh, it's a choke job. It's the biggest choke job ever." It's not. It's not a choke job. It's because once again, if you've never been in that situation, you don't know what it feels like. And I've never been in that situation. I don't know what it feels like. So I can't call it a choke because I don't know. He did lose the Open. I think that's safe to say. He did lose the Open. But as much as he kind of gave it away, Ernie Els had to be in position. I mean, he had to make birdies, and he had to get to 7 under par. He had to make that birdie putt at the last, and he had to make that great chip shot at 16 to get up and down after nearly hitting it into the grandstands over there. I mean, he had to do a lot of things right. He also had to have Adam Scott do a lot of things wrong. And for 68 holes, Scott didn't make a mistake. He made mistakes coming in, and that cost him the Open. And that happens. It's golf. Don't tell me he's going to be scarred. Don't tell me he's never going to bounce back from this. Rory McIlroy hit one so far left off the tee at 10 at Augusta when he led through 63 holes at the Masters a couple years ago. He hit it so far left that it ended up on the right side of the golf course. Okay, he bounced back quite nicely after losing the Masters to winning the U.S. Open and dusting the field at Congressional. So don't tell me it's going to scar Adam Scott. He's going to win a major. He could very well win at Kiowa in a couple of weeks when the PGA Championship rolls down there. All right, so we covered the Penn State. We covered British Open. Props to Bradley Wiggins. First Brit ever to win the Tour de France. Congratulations to him. I love Tour de France. I do. It's crazy. I love it. Greatest test of man in terms of, I think, physical strength. I think the mental aspect of things. It's not just riding a bike, my friends. It is not just riding a bike. Anybody says that, you go ride a bike for 148 kilometers up and down hills and through and on cobblestone streets, and you tell me how you're feeling afterwards. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Never done it, but respect it because I see what it's all about. Did that. We also Carolina Hurricanes have signed Drayson Bowman to a 2-year deal, keeping him in the mix. They're going to be counting on him, I'm pretty sure, for at least playing in Charlotte at the minimum of $105,000. But if he plays for the big club, he'll make $600,000 this year. Next year, the second year of the deal, he's a $600,000 straight shot, no matter where he is. But I anticipate he'll be with the big club. In fact, he may be with the big club at the start of the year. He's that valuable to the Hurricanes organization. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. Remember, point and shoot. Get your phone, shoot your video of you asking a question, email it to us, sports@news14.com, and we put them on the air as the point and shoot segment each and every night. Lots of things going on this week. Charlotte 49ers repping. Unveiling their football helmet on Wednesday. We'll have that. Carolina Panthers report to training camp this week. The Olympics get started in London. So yeah, there's a lot of things going on. And so my suggestion to you is buckle up tight, because the Ford Sports Night is going to be loaded each and every night. We're going to visit with James Anderson this week, Panthers linebacker. Also the Golden Ticket. If you're a sports fan, it doesn't even matter if you're in Charlotte. Golden Ticket's a pretty cool deal. We'll be talking to you about that this week as well. I'm glad I remember that. So there's so much going on. If you missed the Ford Sports Night, people are going to ask you, what else are you watching? The Bachelorette?